I think you've understood by now, language models are so 2023. We've been talking about multimodality all morning, and there's one new kind of model that we haven't talked about yet, and that's agent models. To discuss this, we're going to hear from one of France's new AI gems. It's a startup that raised $220 million last May. They've rented a large training cluster from Scaleway, but since then, they've been pretty secretive about what they've been doing. Hopefully we'll get a sneak peek thanks to the CEO of the H company, Charles Kantor.
Hello.
Welcome. Thank you, Charles, for being with us.
Pleasure.
I have to ask, because I think everybody's wondering, what does the H stand for in the H company?
So basically, it's we think of H as like a name which is like up to you. It's like H for holistic, as we think about like AI in a very holistic manner. Like we think of AI in a very like operating system manner. So H for holistic, humane, sometimes hectic, sometimes historic. So up to you, basically.
Okay, up to us. Well, I have to say it takes a lot of courage to start a new Gen AI startup right now because the space is already pretty crowded. There's fierce international competition. What is your take on this market? What do you see about Gen AI and where you want to position H in this space?
So basically, we see the market, and I think again it's subjective. So it's one take of the market, but we see like three subdivisions. My take basically is like you had like this first wave of models that are based on language, this next token prediction when it comes to generating like chat capabilities, and these became like very interesting in markets like customer support, really like being integrated in the industry from that standpoint. And I think it's one vertical where you saw like a lot of hyperscalers paving the way, so from a cloud perspective, and then you had like the fast or slow followers from a non-prem perspective. So how we can deploy like the same technology in non-cloud environments, but defense, healthcare, finance, etc. So that's one pillar, which paved the way for the last like 1-2 years. I think there is like a second pillar, again my take, which is more like specific to code. So you can use the same technology, and basically it scales very well, and generally like the very good models are also good at other like capabilities. And in this vertical, you also find like both paradigms, cloud and on-prem. You had like this, I would say like first paradigm with like GitHub Copilot, where you had code for auto-completion, like autofill, diff, etc., which was like one first interesting paradigm. And then you saw this wave, same, of on-prem companies deploying also like these solutions for more sensitive industries, healthcare, finance, etc. And then you have like a first market, and that's basically like my take here. It's the market for actions, the market for automations. This one is really big. It's a huge opportunity to kind of disrupt the productivity goal. And that's where H can not only like be an on-prem player, where we deploy with specific industries, but also like the cloud for this, like a managed cloud for automations and for actions. So that's the goal, and that's what we're going after, which is like a massive opportunity.
Okay, so if I sum up, there's language models, coding models, and now action models. So maybe we can talk a bit more about what is an agent-based model with a unique focus on action specialization and how it differs from multimodal approaches.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I mean, we saw, again, like first elements of action models. Nothing new, even like you had some attempts like 10 years ago, taking actions in video games in specific industries. But I think like action models are right now like very powerful in the sense that you can, and that's the right moment, to orchestrate LLMs that are very specialized. So you need LLMs that are very good at generating like plans and workflows. At the same time, like VLMs, so vision models, that can like understand like not the very generalist expectations, such as like differentiating between the flowers, and different species, but rather like understanding like interfaces. How can I understand like a desktop animation? How can I understand like the web? How can I understand like on device what's happening like on Android, etc. And that's the goal. So if you orchestrate like these two types of models very well, with some sort of routing between these models and some planning, then you start to have like this system, which is holistic in a manner, where you can take actions. You have different environments, be it like on the web, be it on desktop, be it on device. The goal is to focus on one of these three, very specifically, being very good before like branching out to the other ones.
Okay, so you've already selected your vertical?
Yep.
Okay, I won't push. How can we evaluate the performance of such action models? Right now, there's tons of benchmarks on language models. There's starting to be benchmarks for multi-models, but action is something, there's something about real time and about very specific context that makes it hard to evaluate.
So there's two things. So as mentioned, basically you have view like the action era in 3 layers, like the underlying models, LLMs, VLMs, the orchestration, and then the product itself. And so benchmarking or kind of assessing something means to be like at a specific layer. So first you can evaluate like your underlying models. Do I have like a state-of-the-art or very performant models when it comes to generating the workflow, the plan for the actions? Do I have like a very performant model when it comes to understand visual interface? That's 2. So you have already like 2 benchmarks. Then you have like the benchmark, which is like the framework itself. Can I orchestrate actions that make sense? What's the success rate of my action? So basically, if I have a plan which is interface with Gmail and then like connect to an Excel and then like get the information from LinkedIn, like what's the success rate of the full workflow that I have? And then there is like the last layer, which is the product itself. Can I self-heal? If I fail, can I self-heal? And that's the goal of the assessment that we do. Because from a product perspective, we are not yet like arrived at AGI. This will take like months and years. So the question is like, if I have a very good product, is it like good enough to be modified, such as like it's always like successful? The thing that we see is like right now people are trying to shoot for a direct performance, where in fact like what matters is like, can I have like a first performance that I can edit, validate, replay, so that it becomes almost perfect? And that's the goal, basically. So we have like these 3 ladders of evaluations and benchmarks, which is our focus.
You seem to have a very clear vision of where you want to go. I was wondering, as the CEO of a new Gen AI startup, you have great ambition, you're trying to create a new AI champion. It's probably a dream that a number of people here share. What would you recommend to the aspiring AI builders in the audience?
So first, like we are, of course, like very fortunate to be in this position. And first, we invite like all AI builders to kind of join us also like in this ecosystem. We view ourselves as an ecosystem. Again, H is an operating system. We will need like the help of a lot of builders in terms of outputs like structuration, in terms of underlying models as well, in terms of orchestration. So we need like a lot of builders in the ecosystem, be it in France, be it like in the world, basically. A recommendation is trying to go fast on very specific use case, because basically we are paving the way for a generic era of agents. We want these agents to be very strong at generated like good automations with a decent success rate. And then the goal is like we need a lot of people to kind of take these models, take these agents, and then fine-tune or customize. So we need like a whole ecosystem where you will see like emerging companies in very specific industries, be it like in RPA, being in QA, being in BPO, like business process outsourcing, etc. So you will see like many verticals emerging, and so we need a ton of builders.
So when can this ecosystem engage with you?
Exactly.
When can they do that?
Potentially by the end of the year.
Okay.
I will take the opportunity basically to show a QR code on the screen. We are releasing like a lot of modular aspects of our system very soon. So please take the opportunity to kind of get the QR code, join the wait list, and we will release things very soon.
So this is to allow us to be part of the beta version that you'll release very soon, right?
100%.
Okay, great.
100%.
So you've heard the message. Be part of this ecosystem. Help contribute building agent models. We'll be tuning in very soon then. Maybe one last question to finish. Being a French company in this space, do you think that that gives you an edge?
Yeah, 100%. We have an amazing pool of talents, like in France. We have like research hubs, and I think it's due to the education backgrounds of all like the French people here. We have very strong like kind of baselines in mathematics and computer science, and so we see it like from a research perspective. In a few months, we managed to kind of arrive to very interesting performance, to hire like very interesting profiles, especially like in France. So it's definitely like a big advantage. And I think we see it, like a lot of the American companies are trying to open offices here. So there is something behind.
Some already have for a number of years.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us. We'll definitely stay tuned because the suspense is painful, but we'll be there when the product launches.
You should.
Thank you, Charles.
Thank you very much.